The wagon rolled into Jasper Creed's ranch at precisely noon, just as the letters had promised. Dust swirled in the dry air, settling slowly as Jasper watched from the porch. He'd been waiting for this moment for months, ever since he'd placed the advertisement for a mail-order bride. But as the woman stepped down, something felt off. She wasn't trembling from the long journey, as he'd expected from her delicate descriptions. Her hands, which she'd written were soft and pale, bore the rough calluses of hard labor. When she hefted her heavy trunk from the wagon bed with ease, Jasper's unease deepened. This was no fragile city woman. Willa Blaine curtsied with a sweet smile, her voice soft and familiar from their brief meeting in town months ago. Yet her eyes betrayed her, scanning the ranch with a predator's precision, every building, every fence line, every possible escape route. Over dinner that first night, she asked about the cattle, but her questions weren't those of a curious newcomer. She inquired about herd sizes, grazing patterns, and predators with a knowledge that rivaled the most seasoned ranchers Jasper knew. Later, through the kitchen window, he caught her chopping firewood with an axe too heavy for her slight frame. Each swing was precise, powerful, splitting logs cleanly. When she noticed him watching, she dropped the axe, smoothed her dress, and slipped back into the role of the demure bride. 3 days later, at dawn, the truth began to unravel. 20 armed riders surrounded the ranch house, their horses moving in a disciplined formation that spoke of purpose. These were no random rustlers. Willa, or whoever she really was, didn't scream or cower. Instead, she strode to the barn and returned with a rifle, her movements calm and practiced. Jasper's blood ran cold. The woman he'd married wasn't who she claimed, and the danger at his doorstep was no accident. Jasper, a man of 35, had built a prosperous ranch, but loneliness had gnawed at him for years. Neighbors whispered he was cursed or too picky, but the truth was simpler, every attempt at courtship felt hollow. When a friend suggested a mail-order bride, Jasper resisted until the ache of solitude became unbearable. Willa Blaine's letters had been perfect, elegant script on cream-colored paper, describing a delicate woman raised in a boarding house, skilled in domestic arts but unused to physical toil. She sought a kind husband and a safe home, he needed a gentle wife to warm his empty house. It seemed a match made by fate, but fate, Jasper now realized, had a cruel streak. The woman unpacking in his spare bedroom bore little resemblance to the fragile creature of her letters. Her movements were confident, purposeful. She checked every lock, tested every window latch, and positioned herself to always face both entrances of a room. These weren't the habits of someone seeking safety but of someone bracing for trouble. That evening, over dinner, Jasper tested her. He mentioned wolves troubling the cattle, expecting fear. Instead, Willa's eyes sharpened. She asked about pack size, hunting patterns, and den locations, questions no sheltered city girl would know. When he probed about her journey from the east, her answers were too polished, lacking the small, authentic details of real memories. She was feeding him a carefully crafted lie. That night, Jasper sat on the porch, the weight of his suspicions heavy. The woman under his roof wasn't Willa Blaine. Was she hiding from something, or had she brought danger to his doorstep? By morning, he'd have his answer, and it would be worse than he could imagine. Dawn brought riders on the horizon. 7 men, their disciplined approach marking them as experienced fighters. Willa appeared beside Jasper on the porch, dressed efficiently, her hair pinned back for clear vision. Her calm, calculating gaze as she watched the riders confirmed she'd expected this threat. The lead rider, a lean man with cold eyes and scars, halted 20 feet away. His smile held no warmth, only the satisfaction of a hunter cornering prey. "Morning, Mrs. Catherine Hayes," he said, his words freezing Jasper's blood. "Your husband's mighty impatient about those missing account books." The name Catherine Hayes hit Jasper like a blow. Not Willa Blaine. She was already married, their ceremony a sham. Catherine didn't flinch. "Tell Marcus what he's looking for burned with his dirty secrets," she said, her voice stripped of pretense. "If he wants to talk, he can come himself instead of sending hired killers. The writer's grin widened. Oh, he's coming, Catherine. By nightfall. We're just here to make sure you don't run again. As the men settled around the ranch, Jasper realized he was caught in a dangerous game he hadn't chosen. Catherine's next words confirmed she'd been preparing for this since she arrived. Inside, Catherine moved with deadly efficiency, barricading doors and checking ammunition Jasper didn't know he owned. Marcus Hayes isn't just my husband, she said, loading a rifle with steady hands. He's the most dangerous man in 3 territories, with half the judges and sheriffs in his pocket. He's not coming for a fair fight. He wants his property back. Her emphasis on property clarified she meant herself. Those account books, she continued, detail every illegal deal, bribe, and murder Marcus committed over 5 years. I didn't just take his money, I took evidence that could destroy him. Jasper stared, stunned. Where are they now? Catherine's smile was cold, triumphant. Somewhere he'll never find them. Somewhere that ensures justice, whether I survive or not. More riders arrived, 15 more, joining the original 7. Marcus Hayes was taking no chances. Catherine selected weapons from the gun cabinet with expert precision. Jasper, she said, handing him a shotgun, in 10 minutes, you'll know exactly who you married. The question is, will you stand with me or hand me over to save yourself? Marcus Hayes rode into the ranch yard like a conqueror, his presence silencing his men. He dismounted with casual confidence, a man certain of victory. From the window, Catherine watched, her hand steady on her rifle, a slight tremor in her jaw the only sign of emotion. Marcus removed his hat, his voice carrying a chilling refinement. Catherine, darling, hiding on this nowhere ranch, playing house with a dirt farmer. I expected more imagination from the woman who nearly destroyed my empire. The books are beyond your reach, Marcus, she replied. Send your men away and come inside alone. Let's finish this. His laugh was cold, amused. Burn the barn first, he ordered his men. Then the outbuildings. Leave the house for last. She'll reconsider when she smells smoke. Flames devoured the barn, the crackle of burning hay filling the air. Jasper's heart broke as 20 years of work turned to ash. Catherine knelt by the fireplace, prying up a floorboard to reveal a cache of weapons, pistols, ammunition, and dynamite. You planned this, Jasper said, his voice hollow. You used my ranch as bait. Her composure cracked briefly. I needed somewhere defensible, isolated. I thought I could protect you by keeping you in the dark. I was wrong. Marcus' voice cut through the flames. 8 minutes, Catherine. The chicken coop's burning. But Catherine wasn't preparing to run, she was ready to fight. She revealed the account books were hidden in the house, under Marcus' nose, a final defiance. Boots sounded on the porch. Marcus entered with 3 gunmen, their weapons lowered in a show of dominance. Catherine moved like lightning. A knife flashed, and the first man fell, a blade in his chest. Her boot crushed the second's throat. The third fired a wild shot before her second knife found his heart. 3 dead in seconds, her face expressionless. Marcus applauded slowly. Magnificent, darling. 5 months pretending, and you haven't lost a step. I taught you well. You did, she said, cleaning her knives. Until I grew a conscience. Your weakness, he sneered. My men will burn this house if I don't walk out, destroying the books. But Jasper had acted. Through the window, U.S. Marshals approached, badges gleaming. He'd sent word during the night, ensuring witnesses. Catherine revealed the real books, hidden in a fireproof box in the chimney. Marcus' smile faltered as marshals stormed in, arresting him. 6 months later, Marcus received 3 life sentences, his empire dismantled by the books Catherine preserved. She gained immunity for her testimony, her past as an enforcer forgiven for her courage. Jasper rebuilt his ranch with reward money, but the true change was in his heart. Catherine wasn't the gentle bride he'd wanted, but her bravery and resolve were worth more. As they left the courthouse, Catherine offered an annulment. Jasper declined. "Let's start over," he said, as two people who've seen the worst and chosen to build something better. They rode home to a ranch forged in fire, ready to build a life on truth, no matter how hard one.